Welcome friends. In this tutorial, we will be learning about array. Array is a fixed size sequential collection of data. I have written a code that is illustrating array in C programming language. Let me show you and explain you how you can use arrays into your C programs. This is my array.c file. And here it is. It is very simple and most of the code is borrowed from the previous examples. We have standard input output header and the main function. Here, this is the initialization of our array. Int x, and in square bracket we are giving the size of array, and this array x is holding integer values in it. So its size is 5. That means it can store 5 different values in it, which we can access by the indexes. For illustration purpose, I have assigned two more variables. Integer I is equal to 0 and integer j. We have a while loop. While I is less than 5, xi is equal to 10 plus I. That means the ith element of x will be set I plus 10, and we are increasing I by 1 using a post increment variable. So this is our while loop, and I will explain this loop when we will see the program. After that, we have a for loop in which we are using this j integer. J is equal to 0 and its limit is up to 5, and each time the loop runs we are increasing the value of j by 1, and we are printing element %d is equal to %d. Means the jth element of our x array is the value. Now let's run this program, and here is the output. Let me explain you how this worked. The first time the loop runs, we have I is equal to 0. So the 0th element of our x array is set to 10 plus 0 is equal to 10. So the 0th element 0 is equal to 10, which is being printed because of this for loop. Element %d, here d is for this j, which is 0, and the value is j of x. Now when the second time loop runs, I is equal to 1, so x1 is equal to 10 plus 1. That means x1 is equal to 11. Here it is. And the same way it is assigning the values, and in this for loop it is printing the value. So this is how arrays are assigned, and this is the demonstration of arrays in C programming language. Thank you. Welcome friends. In this tutorial, we will be learning about string. String is a one-dimensional array of characters. It holds text messages, and it is best to convey textual information. It holds an array of characters which together can make a textual sentence. And to terminate string, we use a null character. So we can identify the termination of the given string by the null character. To illustrate strings in C programming language, I have written one program which is string.c, and here it is. It is again very simple program. We have standard io.header, we have our main function, and here we have our character array of length 7. And as you can note, string string is having 6 characters, and as I said earlier, the 7th character is reserved for the null character which terminates this array. We are just printing this string. So this str is a character array or our string, and we just want to print it. So we have used printf. This is example of, and to represent strings we have %s, which is this str, which is a character array or string, and that is it. Let's run our program, and as you can see, this is example of string, and here it is. Instead of doing it this way, we can do this using our conventional array style. As you can see, we have represented our string in our conventional one-dimensional array style, and as I have said earlier, we have to terminate our string by this null character. So it is a character array of 7 characters followed by this null, which together creates a string. Let's run it, and we should be having the same answer. As you can see, the output is same. This is how string works in C programming language. Note that to represent strings, there is a string.h file, which is a header file containing useful string functions. Thank you. Welcome friends. In this tutorial, we will be learning about functions in C programming language. Function is a set of statements that performs a specific task. In C, functions are very useful, and every C programs run at least one function. As we have seen in our earlier videos, we use our main function in each and every program. because the C runtime knows that the entry point of our program is the main function. I have written one code that illustrates the functions in C program. I will explain you how to use functions in your C program. This is our functions.c file, and here it is. We have our standard io.h. This is a function declaration. First, we have to specify the return type of our function, which is integer in this case. Then the identifier or the name of the function, which is maximum in this case. Then in brackets we have to give parameters and their data types, integer x and integer y. These are two parameters for our maximum function. This is the declaration of our function. Now let's come to our main function, from where the execution of our program will begin. We have defined an integer I and assign a value of 100 to it. We have defined and assigned 200 to an integer j, and we have defined one more variable m as integer. Now m is equal to maximum I and j. If you remember from our function declaration, this maximum function is taking two parameters. Both of them must be integer. So here we have our first integer I, which is 100, and second integer j, which is 200. And m is the return value of this function. So by passing these parameters, whatever value this function returns will be assigned to m. Printf, the maximum value is equal to %d, which is m. Now, as we know that m is an integer and returns 0. Now let's go ahead and look at the body of our function. We will cover this in our next tutorial. Welcome friends. We are continuing from our previous tutorial about functions in C programming language. Now we will take a look at the body of our function. As we have declared above, the return type is integer, then the function name, which is maximum, and two parameters, their data types. They are integer x and integer y. In our function, we are defining one integer variable, which is int result, and we have a conditional statement if x, which is the first argument, is greater than y, which is the second argument. Result is equal to x. That means if x is greater than y, it will return x. Else, result is equal to y. And if x is not equal to y, result will be equal to y and return result. So it will return this result integer. That means this function can find out the maximum out of given two integers. Let's go ahead and run our program. As we can see, the maximum value is 200. So this is the declaration of our function, this is the body of our function, and this is the call to our function. We are calling it with 100 and 200, and it is returning us 200. So 200 is assigned to this m, and we are printing the result. If we change this 100 to 1000, save it and run the program, it will return us 1000. We haven't changed the function, we haven't changed the call. We just changed the value, and it confirms that the function works perfect. So this is how functions works in C programming language. There are numerous functions in standard C library that we can call in our programs. Thank you.
In Miami.